In today's show, we speak to Optus Stadium curator, Isaac McDonald, who's going to tell us all about the 22 yards that's going to shape the West Test. Well, welcome to the West Sports Show, and we're very lucky to be joined by the curator at Optus Stadium, a man with the job of preparing 22 yards of something special for us in the West Test that's coming up. Welcome to the program, Isaac McDonald. How are you going?
Well, thanks for having me on. It's exciting to talk about this week leading up to the test and build whatever hype is left. I don't think there's any hype left to build. It's going to be pretty exciting, I think.
8 days out, how are you feeling?
Yeah, so we starting prep tomorrow, and then kind of my brain kind of just completely shuts off to everything else that's happening around the world, and all I think about is cricket. I'm not too sure it's too healthy to do for any longer than a week, but we get through it, and the excitement's starting to kick in. So I'm really looking forward to what this week brings and seeing how it all turns out.
Before we get into the pitch itself and how it's prepared, just give us a bit of background on yourself. So you're a Sydney boy. You went up to Darwin, learnt your craft in Sydney, went up to Darwin, and then found yourself back in Perth. How did it all happen?
Yeah, it was. I started my apprenticeship quite young. I was 15 years old when I started learning how to do turf wickets in Sydney. From there, gained my trade certificate and got an opportunity up in Darwin for 2 years. Those 2 years flew by so quickly, and got lucky enough to be able to move home, be back close to family. Everyone's still in Sydney today, but back close to family. Yeah, now over in the West with the same people who kind of gave me that opportunity have now funneled me through and given me the opportunity to be over at WA Cricket. This will be my fourth year as head curator with a pretty special team that go between Optus Stadium to do the pitch there, and obviously the whole venue at the WACA as well.
Is the mandate to get this pitch at Optus Stadium as close as possible to the old WACA days?
I think I don't think it's ever going to be spot on. The old big snake cracks and 5 days of cricket and how many people scored and how they scored. It's the whole idea of it is nice. I mean, I'd love to get it spot on, but it's not. The WACA's not in a drop-in pitch, and I think the trend around the country is, once venues transfer into drop-in pitches, it takes a bit of time for them to bed in, and it takes a bit of time for those own drop-in pitches to make their own characteristics. And I think what we've been able to bring out the characteristics in this drop-in is that the pace that is really good, the bounce is really good, and there has been some cracks as well. So I don't think it'll get spot on like for like, but the characteristics are certainly there to make it a really entertaining pitch.
What is so special about... So this is the same clay they've been using forever, really, to prepare wickets here in Perth. What's so special about this clay from the southwest?
I suppose what sets it apart from literally the whole country is that we're lucky enough that this clay has the highest clay content makeup of the actual particles that come in out of the whole country. We sit roughly around low 80% of clay, and that's gives us that ability to get the pitch so hard and gives it its characteristics of pace and bounce.
So that'd be about 60% at the SCG, right? So that tells you what the difference is.
Yeah, correct. Give or take.
And what's the process itself? How do you curate it, and the drop-in? How does the drop-in take place?
So the test pitch has been in the ground just under a month now. So that got dropped in the first batch of wickets we put in the ground for the one-day international that was hosted here at the stadium. So the bedding in process normally takes about a week to get that nice and flat, which just consists of lots of deep watering and lots of rolling. So just really squashing that tray back into the sand that sits underneath the tray in the profile. Making sure that wicket sits nice and flat, and making sure that test wicket lines up with the adjacent wickets on the outside. So everything is nice and flat. It's a big clay block, and once it's nice and flat, we can get the grass nice and healthy again because of all that rolling and all that watering. It's obviously a bit damaging on the grass, and that's where the discoloration of wickets come from. So I just think of doing that to the whole wicket block, it makes it kind of go a little bit yellow. So you've got to get that grass nice and healthy again, which is pretty much what I've been doing this past week, just making sure that my grass is nice and healthy. I've got lots of water at a nice depth so that come tomorrow around lunchtime, I can do that first press and I know I'm in a good spot.
You got a staff of 7 working to get all this right?
Correct, yep, between the two venues. So WA Cricket's lucky enough to curate the wickets at Optus Stadium and look after for practice wickets as well. And then at WACA ground, we curate and look after the whole venue, so outfield, gardens, and practice wickets as well.
So clearly difficulty. The WACA is a cricket venue. Optus is a multi-purpose venue. So you haven't got the 12 months to get this right. So your window is limited.
It is limited. We're lucky that our kind of nursery setup, as we call it, is where the wickets sit when they're not in the actual playing arena. We've got a great setup out the back. We've got full access. It makes getting them through the winter months nice and as easy as it can be out the back of the stadium there. This year we've had quite a significant run-in time, whereas wickets being put in the ground before the first game. We had 11 days this year, which was just pretty spot on for us to make a really competitive one-day international wicket and gets those wickets that are in the ground for Big Bash and the test match, just a longer bedding in period as well. So this summer things have gone to plan really well with our nutrition, and we're in a really good spot greenkeeping wise, I suppose, where we're comfortable with where our wickets are up.
Check this out. A shipment of the award-winning Bowers & Wilkins PX7 S2E noise-cancelling headphones has just landed in Australia. It's hard to say, but I can tell you, it's easy on the ears. I'm actually wearing a pair right now, and the quality is outstanding. And they're available exclusively from West Coast Hi-Fi for just $429 during their booming Black Friday sale. That's right. Just $429. Hurry in and feel the experience during the booming Black Friday sale at West Coast Hi-Fi. Ends November 29. I'll take you back 12 months to the West Test against India. I've got to say I was a little worried on day one. 17 wickets fell on day one. 3 wickets fell the next morning, so there were 20 wickets done. But then, lo and behold, it settled down a bit, and I think we had tons from Jaiswal and Kohli. A cricket writer I have great respect for, Robert Craddock, said at the time, he's long been a critic of drop-in wickets, but he described it as a masterpiece because it was enough there for the batters, there were enough there for the bowlers. Is that what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, exactly that. I'd love to get as close as, a 50-50 battle as possible. Reflecting on that test, we did lose a whole day in preparation being under covers because it's some unseasonal rain. We keep saying unseasonal in Perth, but it tends to just keep on hanging around for longer and longer and longer, and our March and April seem to get hotter and hotter and hotter. So I'm not sure if we need to start readjusting what we think our seasons are over here, but I'll keep saying unseasonal for now in November rain. Which just threw a little spanner in the works. Look, the wicket was nice and hard on day one, and looking back at that game, I probably could have taken 2 mil off the top and rolled it a bit more, but I really don't think that would have had an effect on how quickly that game was going to move. Our bowling was spot on to get them nice and cheap, and Bumrah just had a day out. Reflecting on that first day. I was really confident going in that, maybe just a half a day early or late on that pitch, just given how we did lose a day in preparation, and still confident that when it did, start to die down, it was really going to be a really good battle between bat and ball. But yeah, certainly day one was, I didn't say many words to too many people, mate. I was sitting there and just trying to take it all in myself.
Well, I don't reckon Greg Chappell, Kim Hughes, Dodd Bradman combined could have played Jasper Bumrah that day. He was unbelievable. It's an interesting segue, though, because I have had a sneaky look at the long-range forecast, and there is the forecast for some rain, maybe even some thunderstorms on the Wednesday, Thursday leading in. And then we could there may be a little bit of rain during the test, but it looks pretty clear for the test. But how significant is that in the lead-up?
Yeah, it certainly, I mean, you look at venues like SCG and the Gabba and the whole East Coast, they deal with it all the time, and they've found ways to curate really good wickets. It's about taking and making educated decisions on various conditions and whatnot. But at the moment, I think if you ask a curator before any test match or any game they're doing, if they were going to base their whole preparation on a maybe thunderstorm 2 days out of the game, they'd all tell you there's no way that they're going to base their whole prep on that. We'll just keep an eye on the forecast day by day and make really good decisions when it comes to it. But for the most part, the preparation looks really nice. The weather looks really good. And yeah, as you touched on, the test match looks virtually unaffected. We'll just keep an eye on that forecast, and hopefully that chance of any rain just kind of disappears.
See if you can finish this sentence. It's going to be 22 yards of...
Ooh.
Put it this way.
Perfectly manicured grass.
That's a great answer. What sort of a pitch? What sort of a pitch do you think we can expect for this test match?
I think the characteristics and historically West Australian tests at either at WACA or at Perth Stadium have had that pace and that bounce. Something in it for the quicks, and something in it for the batters as well. You know, good batters scored good runs, and quicks were in the game for the last few tests here. So, as I said before, you're aiming for that really good balance between bat and ball, but the characteristics of pace and bounce have got to be there. And we'll see what happens on day one.
How do you generally feel when the bowler's walking back to the top of his mark for the first ball of the first test? How do you feel?
It's probably about an hour period where I jump off the roller and there's literally nothing else to be done before the first ball. That hour is the longest hour of a curator's life. You can't roll the wicket. The toss has already been done. You're not in control of the cut surface anymore. It's all your hard work's been done. It's a long hour. The national anthems seem to take like a long time. Everyone asks if you want a coffee. I'm just parked up in the raceway, ready for ball one, ready for the contest and what the rest of the match brings. But yeah, it's a nerve-wracking time.
I know you don't make the toss and you don't make decisions, but you're always batting, aren't you? That's what we do in Australia. If you're winning it.
Oh, I probably wouldn't do either. I don't think I'd last one ball if I was a batsman, and I definitely can't bowl a delivery either. So I'm happy just sitting on the roller and letting everyone who's inclined to make the decision have a go at that.
Isaac, thanks for joining us, and I wish you all the best for the preparation of this very important test wicket.
I appreciate it. Yeah, everything is going well, and look, we're excited to be a part of it, and excited for what hosting the first Ashes test at Perth Stadium brings. It's going to be a massive spectacle with massive crowds, and we know how the West Australian cricket fans and public get behind our team when they're in town. So it's the whole spectacle shaping up to be something really special.
Cricket tipping is back with the game, and there's cash to be won just for signing up. Join by November 23 to enter the draw to win $5,000 thanks to Thirsty Camel. Follow the link in the episode description or go to thegame.com.au to sign up today. Subscribe to the West Sport for more cricket content throughout the Ashes series. And remember, you can watch or listen to this podcast on YouTube Music.